going to talk about now is how to update a NetPoint schedule and also how to use our schedule comparison tool. In updating a schedule, you would drop a new data date on the canvas and then update the durations of the activities affected by that data date. And in the comparison, you can compare your latest update with your baseline, or really any two versions of the schedule as you've recorded it over time. Let's start with this. You've got this blue line here, and that's showing you the last data date. You can see there's a little blue line around the activities to the left of the data date, and that indicates that those have been actualized up to that date. So those are actual recordings of work completed. You're going to drop a new data date here. You can see the old data date fades at that point. The new data date is established. And then the next issue is, how do I create a update and show that these activities are now actualized? So you do a right mouse click on a blank portion of the canvas, and you get this menu. And then you run down the menu and say, Manage Schedule Progress. So when you go there, it's going to bring up this box, which will show you all the activities which are left of the data date, either completely or partially. And those would qualify to be updated in this schedule update round. One thing you can do is just select the activities as a group and actualize them, or you can select them one by one and make adjustments. You can also make adjustments directly on the canvas. So for instance, if shops in RA is now expected to run a little later, you can just drag that out. Excuse me. You can just drag that out a little bit, and that will then update the expected actualization date at the time that you do the actualization. So that covers basically how you do a schedule update, how you drop a new data date. Now we want to talk about how do you compare schedules. So what do I mean when I say that? In our tool, you have the ability to say, I want to look at an earlier update, like the baseline or maybe your last update. In this case, we're going to compare it to the baseline. And we have this filtering tool where it says you can look at if the finish date is at least 5 days behind the original, then make it a bigger bar and dark green. There's one exception to the dark green, which is if it's critical, it's going to stay red. And then the finish date for an activity that's at least 5 days ahead of its earlier schedule, then that's going to be smaller in light green. So let's go ahead and apply that and see what that does for us in the tool. You can see now that, for instance, these are larger and red because they don't turn dark green. But this is showing in the shadow underneath, this shows the original baseline. And up here now, you're showing where you actually are in the schedule. So you can see how that's impacted all these activities down the network and actually pushed you past your ready for commissioning date. You're now running late for your overall schedule. The original schedule had you ending just a little bit early, and now you're behind schedule. On the other hand, the fire department got their permit done early, which then means that earthwork and all these others are coming in early. Unfortunately, they're not on the critical path, so that is not helping you much. That is the functionality that we have in our system for updating and comparing schedules.